Hey guys, TJ here. Been getting a ton of questions about how the loot systems work in Fellowship, so figured I'd break it down for you right from the start all the way to the end game. So the first thing we're going to be looking at, there's two types of loot in this game. There's deterministic loot and RNG loot. So as you interact with deterministic loot more at the start of the game, I'm going to start with that. Uh, and that is basically just what you're going to get from the quick plays you should be doing to start out your character. So each quick play is going to give you with 4 supplies and 2 marks of fellowship. Completely determined, no RNG. That's what you get when you complete a quick play. This quick play progression early on does 2 things for you. It progresses your star map on the left with each run faster than doing ranked queues, obviously, because they're like 3-minute runs. So you are progressing through this tree, and you are getting these tokens. Now, what you can do with these tokens, what I did was I quick played until I could buy this supply box. I'll get to what these are later, but basically I got this supply box as fast as possible to get it on cooldown so I can buy it again later. These come in crazy handy as you're gearing through the later leagues. But the tokens, or the supplies rather, as they're named now, are going to be able to give you these pieces of loot. Now, I've seen plenty of people who don't have teams just all the way through quick play until they can buy an entire set of gear and then they go into ranked. That's completely fine. But what the supplies do is it's going to let you buy an item in a slot, just a generic item, just stats, no special effects, anything like that. Now, our application of this was we did about 9 quick play at the start, and then we started going through the dungeons, and we used this supplies to fill out slots that we had low item level in. You can see even now I'm in Paragon and I still have some of the pieces that I bought from this vendor. So very useful when you're about to go into the capstone dungeons, the Sithrals, the Heart of Tazari, the Wraithtide, to just snipe some item level in whatever your lowest slot is real quick, and then go into the dungeon. Now, how you progress this vendor is each time you time a capstone dungeon, so if I go to challenge here, timing the Sithrals, completing this in time, is going to unlock the next bracket of loot, and then timing Tazari is going to unlock this blue one. But that's what supplies can do for you with loot. That's what I say when I go into quick play to get a head start on the game. And then once you're done with that, your supplies can just go into this box. That's what I'm doing. It gives you gold and some materia. The other place you can get deterministic loot, and this will be happening until you're done with your character essentially, is the star map. So twice per league, as you get more dungeon rating, IO score in other words, it's just going to give you a piece, random pieces. It is good to not spend your marks to buy pieces until you've gotten enough IO to get both of these. So natural progression would be like do a bunch of quick play, get your talents, get your supplies, and then go through the leagues and do each dungeon once. Once you've done each dungeon once, even if you're not timing it, you're gonna have enough IO score to get these random loot. You get all the random loot, equip all your gear, and then use your supplies to buy whatever slots you're missing in. That's how you can get the most value out of your supplies. Now, we'll go into RNG loot. So this is just every time you complete an adventure, you get 1 piece of gear. Random piece of gear. Every time you complete a dungeon, 2. That's true forever, all the way up through Eternal. Now, how this loot works is it scales with the difficulty of the content you're doing. You can obviously upgrade the loot. I'll show where that is later, but you can upgrade the loot to be competitive. You can see on my character, I have a 240 champion weapon, and even though I have a weapon from Paragon in my inventory, this thing is so upgraded that it's not worth using the Paragon weapon yet. You can make lower item level stuff competitive by upgrading it. But for now, let's just talk about how it drops. So when I do a dungeon in Contender, or an adventure rather, it's just going to give me some loot in the Contender bracket. So if you play WoW, it's very similar to the gear brackets in WoW. You can just picture it like Contender is veteran track, Adept is like champion track, Champion is hero, Paragon is gilded. It's a super easy way to understand it. And it works almost identical. If you don't know WoW, it's basically just you get green items from Contender, blue from Champ, or blue from Adept, purple from Champ, and then yellow from Paragon. As you go up in difficulty in the leagues, it automatically upgrades the items for you a little bit. So you can see that just by scrolling through it. Contender 6 is giving me 4 out of 8, 60 item level pieces. Contender 4 is giving me 3 out of 8, 45 item level pieces. Now, each adventure has its own determined loot pool. So, obviously I can see it here. But this is important because each adventure, has unique 2-set bonuses. So you're looking at Sailors, you can get Expertise Max Health 2-set. You're looking at Godfall, you can get the Crit 2-set. Spirit comes from Stormwatch, Silken Hollow, and then Haste is Everdon Grove and Urok Markets. So this is how you can know where you need to go next. If you know you need a specific 2-set, hunt it down in the dungeon. It drops in specific pieces. You can see like Wormheart isn't dropping me chest or helm, so if I need a chest or helm, I shouldn't be in Wormheart. Nice and easy. Now, past the determined loot pool, you have relics and weapons. Relics, they just start dropping in Contender. Weapons, they start dropping in Contender. But what's important about the weapons is that weapons are different based on the difficulty that they drop in. So this is on stream, I talk about it a lot. You want to use purple bars on your first champion weapon to guarantee your BIS weapon. And I'll explain what that means. When you get a weapon in Contender, all it is stats. It is just an item to put in your weapon slot and it has stat. That's it. You get a weapon in Adept, that same weapon has an on use. So you get this. This, for me, Fated Strike. This is Mako's BIS. You get this on-use effect. And there's 4 unique weapons. I don't know if there's a little bit of variance. I don't know if some characters have 3, some characters have 5, whatever. Mako has 4, so 4 unique weapons. And you just get to press it, and it does what it says. And that is a super, super strong power spike for your character. Then, when you loot a weapon in Champion, you get to unlock the weapon tree. You get this little talent tree of things that increase the power of your weapon. So you just get to, as you upgrade your weapon, you get to click through this and you gain all these powers. Now this is probably the single biggest power spike in the game, is getting this weapon tree. I'll explain probably in another video what's best, but this weapon tree right here is a crazy power spike. And then once you get a Paragon weapon, it gets even crazier. when I have a Paragon weapon, you can see I can upgrade this weapon tree. So the power scaling here, making sure you get the correct weapon. This is why the quick play is important, because you can snipe the correct weapon with these purple bars. I'll show you the crafter in a moment here. But getting the correct weapon, getting the correct weapon tree is massive character power. Now, the crafter is important mostly as you start getting through higher adept and early champion. You can use these bars, I call them, unstable mithril, imbued in arcane mithril. You can use these bars basically as RNG protection. Now, this Fists of Fate right here, I want Fists of Fate as Mako. I did not loot it as Fists of Fate. The second I looted a Paragon weapon, the second I looted a champion weapon, I threw it in the crafter and I used these purple bars to guarantee that I could get the correct weapon. So basically what happens here, I drag this item here. If I were to use a green bar on it, it turns it into a random item. Could be literally anything, any slot, any piece, tier set, no tier set, socket, no socket, whatever. Could be any piece. Now blue does the same thing, except gives me 3 that I can choose from. Now purple is very different. Purple turns it into 3 choices in the same slot. Now that's why I say purple is important, because you can take an item in a slot and then choose between all the options of the slot. Now, how you use green and blue bars optimally, I think it's okay to just send them. Anytime you get a duplicate item, so like if I were to loot a helm right now, I obviously don't want to replace this helm. I have a tier set helm. But I want to keep getting loot. I want to keep getting stronger. So if I looted a helm right now, I would throw it in the crafter and I would blue bar it, and that would give me the best chance to get on this character. It looks like I need a neck. I would like some better trinkets. Maybe it could complete my 2 set right here. Could be anything, but it's better than just having some random duplicate item I'm never going to use. Alternatively, you can just scrap the gear. That's fine too. But that's basically how you're going to use this crafter. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is gems. Basically going through these things in the order that you'll interact with them. But gems are interesting. These are more of an end game thing. They are useful in the early game, but obviously, like, I have 2 gems, and I'm actually really lucky to even have 2 sockets in the first place at this point. But basically, you're gonna just get gems at the end of dungeons sometimes, and you're gonna get some gems in the star map right here and here, and probably here. Yep. So what you do with these gems is they give you gem power when you socket them into a piece. So let me get this gem out of this socket so I can show you. So right now I have 3 red, so I upgraded the gem, and I have 2 purple, so I can't upgrade. If I drag a gem to here, I could re-roll it into whatever I want, but I can't upgrade it until I have 3 of one kind. Let's say I looted some other random gem. I would actually try to re-roll it into a purple. These re-rolls work the exact same way as the gear re-rolls, by the way. Purple just gives you guaranteed choice of whatever you want. Blue is 3 choices. Green is random. So were I to loot a random gem, I would re-roll it into a purple, and then if I have 3 of one gem, I'd be able to drag it here, and it would give me the option to upgrade it into a rank 2 gem. Difference in rankings is this large ruby rank 2 gem gives me 240 gem essence when I socket it, and this rank 1 gem gives me 120 when I socket it. So now for strategy with your gems, obviously you want to just have your bigger gem socketed, but early game you kind of want to just get as many different gem colors as possible, ideally as rank 2s. So for me right now, I obviously don't have much option. I just have 2 gems, so I put in 2 gems. But as I get more, I'm going to want to be getting the stat bonuses I'm going to want to be getting the stat bonuses at this rank 2 threshold. Lot of stat in this rank 2 threshold. Once I start getting rank 3 gems, once I start getting legendaries with empowered sockets, which I'll show you right here, this item rolled an empowered socket. Super high roll, crazy RNG. Wouldn't plan around having it, but the legendary does have a guaranteed 100% gem power socket. So if I were to put a rank 3 gem 360 into a legendary, it would give me 760 gem power, which by itself takes me all the way to rank 4. So once you get a legendary and once you start getting deeper in this gem tree, you can start hunting down these really juicy bonuses towards the top. Now obviously that's going to require you to target to like combine your gems into one color. It's going to be a heavy investment, but it is worth it. But that's basically how gems work and how you're going to interact with them for now. And that's pretty much everything except for legendaries, so we can go over that real quick. Legendaries, one deterministically drops at the end of timing Drakheim. You will probably see 1 or 2 legendaries before going into Drakheim, so I'll show you how you can get those. But it is just RNG. I don't have a legendary yet. Someone on my team has 2, and the rest of my team has 1, so I'm low rolling. Hopefully that doesn't happen to you. But once you are plugging champion adventures, every single run, chance to drop a legendary. That's it. Legendaries can't be upgraded. They just come in 300 item level or higher if you're doing higher difficulties. And they have super powerful effects and a guaranteed 100% gem power socket. So my opinion is the best way to hunt for legendaries is the second you time Heart of Sazari, find the easiest champion dungeon for you and your team. For me, it'd probably be this Wormheart right here. Might be whatever the lowest Sailors is. The Sailors isn't bad either. And just spam that thing forever until you can start going higher. You're looking in champion, if you want to hunt the legendary, you're looking for dungeons ran per minute. But yeah, that is loot for you. One thing I will say with upgrading, haven't talked too much about upgrading. I am on the side of just sending your gold and just accepting it. I think it's way better to just send your gold into items that you like. So for me, I sent all my gold into my weapon. I'm sending gold into my tier sets. I'm going to send gold into these sockets. Just send your gold. It's not worth it to hold, especially not early game. If you want to be conservative, hold it until you're about to do Sithral's Heart, Wraith Tide, and then send it. But in my opinion, just send the gold on upgrades. You're going to get like 70% of it back when you end up salvaging the item anyway, so just send your gold. Ended up being a little bit longer than I wanted to, but I hope that this was helpful to you guys. Hope it answers a lot of the questions I've been getting. Thanks for watching. GN.